Molt bona tarda a tots i benvinguts a aquesta sessió sobre oportunitats de finançament en cascada per petits projectes de digitalització industrial. El meu nom és Sandra Pérez i soc la responsable de l'equip d'Indústria 4.0 d'Acció. This session will be conducted in English as we are presenting 4 Cascade Funding open calls that will be directly presented from the responsibles from different consortium, European consortium. Nuria, can we have the agenda so that we can see? Yeah. This session is organized by Acció, the Agency for Competitiveness of Catalan companies from the regional government. But we are organizing it in the frame of our collaboration in the Enterprise Europe Network that Nuria will brief you, explain you about afterwards. The EN also can help you search partners and provide advisory services so that you can submit your proposals to the call that will be presented today. If we can have the agenda in the next slide, please. Today, we will be presenting 4 open calls. I take the advantage and I would like to thank our 4 speakers today. We will have Harry Baikas from Greece, Alba Jimenez from Spain, Vladimir Gumilar from Slovenia, and Paulina Jankowska from Funding Box, which is an international organization very much involved in the open call scenario. I would like to highlight as well that 2 of these open calls are framed into the Euroclusters initiatives, which are Bioman for R2 and EAC Euroclusters. And after each of the presentations, we will have a brief Q&A session. If we have many questions and we cannot answer them all, do not hesitate to use the chat, please, because we will bring back to you the answers and we will also facilitate the contacts of the responsibles of the different calls. So now I would like to give the word to Nuria Kam. She is from Acció and she is in charge of Enterprise Europe Network Digitization Services. She will be conducting the session today. Thank you very much, Nuria. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Sandra. Hello and welcome to today's session. My name is Nuria Kam. I work for the Government of Catalonia at Acció as Industry 4.0 consultant. Acció is coordinating the Enterprise Europe Network, the nodes in Catalonia, EN. EN helps businesses innovate and grow on an international scale, and it is the world's largest support network for small and medium-sized enterprises with international ambitions. The network is active worldwide with more than 450 organizations and more than 47 countries. For the EN node in Catalonia, we are structuring a consortium called CACSIM, where it's composed by 3 main entities: Chambers of Commerce of Catalonia and of Barcelona, and Acció, which is the coordinator of the project. And we also have the Chamber of Commerce of Terrassa and PIMEC, which are associated members. From Acció's side, the services promoted as EN are organized in 3 different blocks: innovation management, internationalization, and funding. And as EN promotes, our services are also having this sustainability and digitalization cross topics in order to boost companies to become more resilient and competitive. From our side, as digital transition node in our consortium, we boost the SME digital transition by advising and supporting SMEs for the incorporation of Industry 4.0 technologies. Thanks from Acció, we are coordinating both EN as well as our European Digital Innovation Hub, Digital Innovation for Catalonia. And this makes it easier to connect our European Digital Innovation Hub services with EN clients. Also, by connecting with other EN services of the consortium and of the network, and by organizing and co-organizing brokerage events such as Hanover Messe or IoT Solution World Congress brokerage events. We are also promoting access to European funding, which is the topic we are dealing with today's session. Following this link on this QR code, you will find a summary of these Cascade Funding open calls, among others, the ones that we are presenting today. EN also promotes partnering search through the Partnering Opportunities database, which you can access by using this link or this QR code. In this database, you can find various partnering opportunities. Your local EN point will assist you in conducting partner research and receive notifications of new opportunities through queries. This can be really useful in case you are willing to apply, for example, to one of these open calls we are presenting here today. For the Catalan companies attending today, you can contact me as EN partner directly. As said, the main idea today is to get you to know four different Cascade Funding's open calls. I'll be giving now the entrance to all the speakers today. As commented, this is the agenda of the session, and as you can see, each organization has some minutes for their presentation. After this time, you will have 5 minute slots to answer your questions, which you can submit through the platform chat. When you do so, we would be pleased if you indicate which open call you are referring to, so we can provide you with a correct answer. Now I will give the floor to Harry Baikas, research engineer from the Laboratory for Manufacturing Systems and Automation at WIS, representing the AI Race Open Call. Harry, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Nuria, and good afternoon also from my side, from Patras, Greece. First of all, I would like to thank you for giving us the opportunity to present today what we do and what we can offer basically to anyone that wants to apply in our open calls and what opportunities come through AIs. So my name is Harry Baikas. I'm a mechanical engineer and I work as a research manager in LMS. LMS stands for Laboratory for Manufacturing Systems and Automation. And we are located at the University of Patras in the area of Western Greece. LMS has been established in the early 90s, and we are oriented towards research and development in cutting-edge scientific and technological firms, giving a lot of emphasis in cooperation at the European level with different industrial partners. We are pretty well known and quite successful in this field. We have participated so far in more than 180 EU-funded R&D projects, and we have coordinated more than 50 of them. This is just to give you a bit of a background as regards the organization itself. Now, if we go to AIRISE, our main goal here is to support SMEs in implementing AI technology in their shop floor. Why is that? Well, we all know that SMEs, small medium enterprises, are the backbone of the European economy, and they represent more than 99% of the total number of industrial enterprises within Europe. They also employ more than 59% of the total workforce and add 45% of value of the manufacturing sector. Nevertheless, we also know that SMEs face a number of challenges these days. And one of the most discussed challenges is digital readiness and digital transformation of SMEs, let alone use of AI technologies, which is very, very low within Europe. You can see that the EU average of use of AI in 2020 has been only 7%. This is increasing, obviously, since 2020, but still use of AI, especially in the field of manufacturing, is super low. In parallel, though, use of AI is in general on the rise, and particularly in 2023, we are going through a very high phase, I would say, with natural language processing algorithms being very much on the spotlight, with tools like ChatGPT, etc., becoming a bit of a trend in the news these days. But besides these very fancy, very nice, but often overhyped applications, AI can be of significant benefit for manufacturing because it enables manufacturing firms to optimize their operations. And in that environment, the motivation for us, the motivation behind the AIRISE, was to try and make a difference towards manufacturing SMEs, try to promote AI use in their shop floor towards sustainability. The goal here is to use AI to become more sustainable. So AI sits very much in the center of twin transition goals of the European Commission, combining both digital and green transition goals. So who we are then behind ARISE? ARISE brings together a group of renowned universities, research centers, and SME associations from all over Europe. And we already collectively have significant experience in supporting SMEs, either being members of the European Digital Innovation Hub network and or having participation in similar Cascade Funding projects in the past. The ARISE project started on January 2023. It has an overall duration of 42 months, and as mentioned, it is being coordinated by us, by LMS. Overall, we plan to reach at least 1,500 SMEs through the program, while giving the opportunity to them to test AI applications in the shop floor through 75 funded experiments via 5 open calls. And we are going to see that in a bit more detail in a few minutes. The main goal of ARISE, as mentioned, is to create a framework towards supporting European SMEs in the uptake of artificial intelligence in manufacturing, specifically focusing on AI-enabled applications at the edge and targeting a reduction of waste and carbon footprint, so targeting a bit the goals of green transition. In order to do that, ARISE uses the financial support to third parties mechanism, FSTP mechanism or Cascade Funding mechanism, however you want to call it, providing financial and technical support to SMEs in order for them to test AI solutions in their environment. Our idea here is not to reinvent the wheel. We don't want to create, let's say, a new ChatGPT for engineering. Our target is more towards using existing knowledge and using established AI technologies in order to make incremental changes in manufacturing operations efficiency and sustainability on the shop floor and try to reach out to a large number of SMEs. We have a wide experience as a consortium in terms of AI applications in manufacturing, and what we have done is packaging this kind of this experience in a series of services. So you will see also on the slide that we have different thematic areas that we address, and we already offer AI services on those in order to support SMEs. Nevertheless, we know that the technical support that we can offer as a consortium is rather limited in terms of effort. So, for example, for each experiment, we plan as a consortium to dedicate at least 2 person months to support, from our side, to support SMEs, plus giving them financial incentives to do so. But we cannot really support SMEs indefinitely. As such, there are certain things that SMEs would have to procure from the market, and they can use budget provided through the Cascade Funding to do that. This is, however, where this whole ecosystem idea comes into mind. So ARISE also foresees to set up an ecosystem with 4 different areas of external actors towards further supporting SMEs and enlarging a bit the reach of ARISE. As such, we have the commercial area of ARISE. This comprises companies that can provide off-the-shelf solutions that are needed in order to deploy AI services. And these are elements that would anyway have to be procured from the market and are complementary to the services that we offer to SMEs. We also have the business area, and the business area comprises consulting companies that offer services that would support SMEs in upscaling their AI application. And the goal here is to support them in understanding AI applications manufacturing so that they can better support SMEs. We have the research area of the ecosystem, and this comprises other initiatives that operate in the same regime, more or less. And in this case, is to cluster with them and be able to train people, but also disseminate a bit better what we do, reaching out to more SMEs. And last but not least, we have a standardization area, a standards area. And the goal is here to make aware SMEs of the applicable standards and the regulations that are regarding AI, as well as define potential gaps in AI-related standards and communicate them to the relevant stakeholders. We mentioned before that we have pretty ambitious goals. In terms of impact, we want to address at least 1,500 SMEs at the first level. And the idea is to follow a funneling scheme of SMEs in the experiments directly supported by us, by ARISE, through training these 1,500 SMEs in the basics of AI manufacturing. Out of those, 500 potential implementation ideas will be assessed by experts as it regards both their technical feasibility and business viability. and will be supported towards submitting proposals in the ARISE open calls. From those 500 assessed applications, let's say, 60 will be selected to implement what we call validation experiments. And the idea here is to deploy a small-scale pilot of AI in their manufacturing environment to test the visibility of the tool and test the performance. Upon successful implementation of a validation experiment, the SMEs can apply for full pilots, where AI applications will be deployed at a larger scale, more extensively in their production. In order to meet those ambitious goals, we count on a very experienced consortium, as mentioned before, and our experience in other Cascade funded projects. However, we also aim to leverage external associations, external organizations in what we call ARISE ambassadors. This is because early on we understood that the consortium is too small to cover the goals that we want to have towards outreach and towards assessment. The experiments themselves are going to be directly supported technologically and financially by ARISE, but we also plan to liaise with these external associations, clusters, and digital innovation hubs in order to increase our impacts. The idea is that we will provide these organizations, what we call the ARISE ambassadors, with both the training methodology, material, and assessment tools in order to be able to implement this reach out to 1,500 SMEs and also the initial screening of these 500 applications, along with financial support to do so. And we have a specific open call for that. Having summarized the overall approach and synergies that we aim to leverage by ARISE, let's take a closer look in our open calls. The first one, and the main one actually, is the open call towards SMEs. As mentioned, this is targeted towards manufacturing SMEs that want to test and apply AI solutions in their shop floor. The application process is as straightforward as possible. So the SMEs need to have a rather clear idea of what their challenge is, where they could use AI in order to help solve that challenge, and propose a very basic implementation plan. Let's say, for example, that I am an SME that produces welded products, and I have some issues with quality in my welded products. In this particular case, I can ask ARISE to help me to implement AI algorithms that can detect the defects in the welding area and possibly also try to control the process itself. This obviously is a very small part of what we can do. We extend that to the full range of services that we offer, that we mentioned before, and that we can find a complete catalog in our website. What do the SMEs gain out of that? As mentioned before, we can support them without technical expertise and without sales. And we can do that up to 2 person months, delivering services from our side. These services are completely free of charge. They are delivered up to 2 person months free of charge to the SMEs. And they can include design and engineering services, process monitoring and control services, manufacturing operation services, supply chain services, and training. Besides that, in this first round of our open call, we also offer financial support to SMEs. This financial support for this open call can be up to 40,000 euros. And you need to have in mind that this includes basically your efforts and consumables towards deploying this kind of service in your shop. So you get our expertise, you get our services for free, then you have also 40,000 euros that you can use towards staff that we employ that is directly involved in the experiment, towards consumables, and towards running the whole experiment. This open call is currently running. You can find more details in our website. It's arise.eu/calls. It's very, very easy. It's also on the slide. And the submission deadline for that is quite tight. It's end of June, but we have tried to keep the application process as lean as possible. So the application template is maximum 10 pages long. It's quite straightforward, and you can, I think you still have some sufficient time to apply if you think that's interesting for you. More information on the website, as well as the guide for applicants, where everything is detailed. And we are also at your disposal. We have a specific email address where you can direct questions as regards this open call, and we'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. That being said, if you don't manage to submit your proposal within the deadline, we plan to have another 4 rounds of open calls. Basically, we plan to have an open call for SMEs every 6 months until the end of it. The second type of open call that we already briefly referred to is the call for ambassadors. This is directed, as we mentioned before, towards SME clusters, technological associations, or business registers, basically towards organizations that represent SMEs. The benefits here are numerous and extend well beyond financial support. As a matter of fact, we consider the financial support to be just the icing on the cake, just supporting the implementation of actions by ambassadors, given how strategically important we feel the rest of the benefits are towards them. This call is also open with a cutoff date at the end of July. And basically, the idea here is that you receive training from us, you receive tools from us so that you can go and talk to your SMEs, discuss their needs around AI in manufacturing, reach out to them and explain to them a bit what AI is and what it can do for them. It's not just these fancy applications, it's way more than that, and they can have real impact in their production. And then some of them that are going to have some more solid ideas that need to be assessed, you can go through a deeper discussion with them, assess a bit the idea, and direct them towards our open calls, our 5 open calls. Obviously, there's a lot to gain there. Things are listed already here. They're also listed on the website. But in general, we think that what we offer here towards this kind of organization is very appealing because it increases a bit both the quality and the quantity of services they can offer towards their SMEs. So if you represent such an organization or an association, if you want to become an ARISE ambassadors, head to the same webpage, so arise.eu/calls. There's a dedicated section for that on the webpage, also detailing what you get out of that, what you need to offer, and how much budget you can apply for. Again, cutoff date for this first round of open calls for ambassadors is end of July. So you have a little more than a month, which should be sufficient time. Again, we try to keep the application process as straightforward as possible. Last but not least, we also call for external evaluators. We want to reach out to individuals that have expertise on AI in order to assist us in evaluating proposals that we receive from SMEs in a fair, transparent, and unbiased way. This is a continuously open call, and you can apply to the same ARISE website. So arise.eu/calls, you will see there's a dedicated area for experts where you can register yourself. If you found what we do interesting and if you want to be up to date, you can follow us on our social media and keep an eye on our website for upcoming opportunities. And I would like to thank you all for your attention, especially our organizers for giving us the floor. And if you have any questions, I will be more than happy to answer. Thank you.
Thank you, Harry. For now, we don't have any questions regarding this call. So we will stop the open floor for questions here, but please, for more information, you can address to Harry or ARISE open call, contact them directly. Thank you, Harry. We'll take that one again. Okay, as we don't have any questions, we are going to the next open call. Thank you. Thank you, Alba. I will now give the floor to Alba Jimenez, project manager from BioCAD at Catalonia, and who will be presenting the Biomanufacture R2 open call. Alba, the floor is yours. Thank you.
So hi, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you, Axio, Nuria, and the partners for giving us the opportunity to share our open call with all the local partners. So we are always happy to share and to help our local companies. So I will start sharing the screen. Can you see it correctly? Well, I think yes.
Yes,
so,
thank you, Alba.
Okay, thank you, Nuria. So I am Alba Jimenez, biologist and project manager here at BioCAD. So at the Science Policy and Internationalization Department. So BioCAD is a public private foundation that was founded in 2006 by the Catalan government and the Barcelona City Council. So our objective is to promote and dynamize the bioregion of Catalonia. This is what we call to the life science and healthcare ecosystem. So our mandate here is to identify all the industry needs, all the stakeholders' needs, gather all of them, and try to plan and develop a strategy for the ecosystem to develop and to make it more mature. So how we do it? We do it through accelerating the ecosystem by fostering the adoption of innovation, also with several talent development programs, such as Crash and the Health, and connecting also investors with several companies here in Catalonia to accelerate the ecosystem. We also promote it and position it internationally, nationally, and also regionally. And we try to connect all the stakeholders, even industry, startups, and also the public system, the healthcare system. So why we are here today is because we are participating in the Bioman 402 project. Sorry for this complicated name, but it is the acronym of Biomanufacturing Eurocluster for Recovery and Resilience in EU. So it is an EU-funded project from the Single Market Program. And well, its main objective is to foster and to strengthen the industries of medtech and biomanufacturing in Europe. So I will develop here the specific objectives. So we try to improve the manufacturing processes in the fields always related to healthcare, more focused on the medical technology, which includes here in our project digital health and biotechnology. We also try to help to transfer disruptive technologies into the BMT or biomanufacturing medtech industry, also to strengthen the competitiveness and sustainability of the European healthcare ecosystem, to foster the long-term collaboration among SMEs, investment funds, and all the key stakeholders in the ecosystem. So within our project, we provide financial support to small and medium-sized enterprises, which can be used for several activities related to collaborative innovation projects, which I will give you more details in the following slide. So here you can see in general terms for business transformation, for collaborative projects, for validation, also prototyping. And well, some notes that I want to point out before giving more details is that each company can have up to 60,000 euros applying to our open call. Each company can apply for more than one financial support, but it may not exceed the maximum amount, which is 60K. And the applicant must be a single SME. So even if it's a collaborative project between more than one SME or with other types of organizations, so the lead should be a single SME. So the main objective of our financial support program, the Euroclusters, is for European SMEs from the biomanufacturing and medtech sectors to benefit from various service providers, which we have mapped of the regions of the consortium, and to improve their effectiveness or level of innovation for valorization, marketing analysis, and several services that I will show you after this slide. So related always to the topics of this industry, which are the main regulatory funding, having infrastructures for developing and scaling the production, acquiring new technologies and supply chain, and also for consulting services such as market access. So I will focus not that much on the project, but on the open call, which I think is more of interest for the SMEs which will be joining us. So the general compulsory eligibility criteria for the call is quite open. First of all, the proposals or projects submitting should be matching the thematic scope of the activity, which will be being active in the medtech and biomanufacturing industry, and the applicant should be, as I mentioned before, a single SME. That you can do the self-assessment in the European Commission website for the SME definition and be located in the EU and the single market program countries. So this is more general, obviously, to be no bankrupt, to be in compliance with obligations relating to payment of social security, and to be with no subject to a conflict of interest with this grant. So some more general points to be, the submission should be in English language. You have here the main address for the submissions and the applications, and they should be before, obviously, the deadline. And the threshold, as I mentioned before, is the 60K. So I will show you here. We have the financial support scheme overview. So it is a general visual view, I think. So we have two types of vouchers, which we are giving in this open call. We have the innovation vouchers that you can see here in the left. So there are two types of activities financed by these innovation vouchers. We have 15 innovation vouchers of a maximum of 60K, that if you are planning a project with a lower budget, you can explain your project and we can adapt the budget to the project, obviously not exceeding this 60K. So the first type of action that we are financing in these innovation vouchers are collaborative projects between SMEs and minimal one other organization. As the amount is not so high, we recommend a maximum of 4 organizations, 5 in the consortium. So, and this other organization participating in the consortium can be another SME, a corporate, also a public organization such as institute, research organization. So this is quite wide scope. And for the second action of these vouchers, we have activities such as prototyping, valorization, and validation of existing products, which can be the collaboration between maybe the SME and a hospital for validating the product, or whatever you are planning to do with your project. So I want to clarify here that we have the SME, even if it's a consortium of more than one individual participating, the SME should be the lead submitting the application. So we will give the total budget to the SME and they will distribute it to the other partners participating. So for the second type of vouchers, which are the business transformation vouchers, we have several activities financed here. As you can see, we have the Go Greener, which will be for acquiring green technologies or process, or also the Go Digital for digital technologies for the industry and the SMEs. So these categories are both for acquiring technologies and also for having external trainings for the employees of the companies. So they can be external services subcontracted here. Also for the Go International, there are 2 activities financed here for the Go International. We have traveling to external markets to develop new collaborations, to explore opportunities, and also here we finance consulting services for market access analysis. So I think that this is an interesting option that several SMEs have been contacting us for this type of activities. And also the last activities that are also consulting services for go-to-market, and that can be international, national market services, also for legal and financial analysis, and for regulatory advice. Also, this is something that has been of interest of several SMEs. So we have 10 business transformation vouchers, and the maximum amount here is 15K per each SME. So as you can see, the maximum amount that we can give to an SME is 60K. So you can do more than one application here for the business transformation until you raise the maximum amount. So for the open call, this is a timeline. I think that is the most important thing. So we open the call in the 27th of April, and it will finish the 2nd of July. So there's just over a week, but I think that if you're planning to organize a project that is related with activities I have mentioned before, it is, believe me, it's quite easy to do the application, to complete the document. So you just have to explain your project to relate it to the resilience and the plans that we have mentioned before, and explain how you're going to distribute your budget. And I think that it won't take more than 2 hours. So I encourage you to apply if you're trying to plan some of these type of projects on your company. So something important to take into account is if you are awarded with this call, the signature date of the grant agreement with the project will be in the couple of weeks before the 18th of July. So you will have until August, and the expected starting date of the projects will be the beginning of August. So the projects awarded should be developed within this next 6 months. So you should start on August and end last at the maximum of February, if I'm not wrong. So here you have more detail of the activities that we are financing with the innovation financial support. Here you see the repeated also for collaborative projects, always related with the scope of the Bioman for H2 project, which is to increase the resilience in Europe, the green and digital transformation challenges, and always strengthening the value chain and supply chain in Europe. So the benefits you may have from these vouchers is the support from your regional ecosystem support organization, which will be the clusters that I will explain you later. Also to find collaborators, with our main goal is to establish, develop, and support long-term collaboration within the ecosystem. So this is the most important thing for us, and obviously the 60K financial support that you will be awarded as the maximum in this type of vouchers. The same for the business transformation. Here we divide it in 3 categories as before. The trainings, which is very important in our project. We have also made an analysis of which is the talent missing in the ecosystem of biomanufacturing medtech sectors. So this is something we want to boost. And with the Go Greener and Digital, we want both acquire training for these topics, and also if you want, and if you are interested, technologies and processes for your companies. The same for going international, as I mentioned before, support for travel and third country market discovery, and the business and legal financial analysis, which are consulting services that are quite flexible to apply. So the benefits will be to find your partners in the matchmaking database, which I will show you later. We have mapped all the stakeholders in the regions of the consortium to access to cutting edge and digital and green technologies if you apply for the first type of business transformation vouchers, and to acquire up to 15K for the financial support. Okay, so to finish with the presentation, these are the partners of the project. From Finland, the Turku Science Park is coordinating the project. Then we as Catalan partners, so if you have any doubts, we offer a personal assessment for the application process, so please contact us. From Germany, we have Bioregio Stern, from the Netherlands also, Poland and France. So please, if you are from any of these regions, and obviously I know that most of you would be from Catalonia, contact us for any doubts, for assessment, for advice. So we will be happy to help you. You will also have more information in the website, and I will take the opportunity to show you. I don't know if, can you see it? Okay, I guess yes. So here we have, thank you, Nuria. We have the B2Match platform, which we created for the project, in which you will have the same information I have explained and more detailed information from the project. If you are planning to have a collaborative project in the topics I have mentioned before, but you still don't have any partners and you want to look for them, here we created a map of the stakeholders divided from service provider, big enterprises, research organizations, and all the stakeholders involved in the biomanufacturing and medtech industries in the regions of the project. So you can find here, or even if you go to the partnering, so you will find here the SMEs and the providers that have registered already. So there are more than 100, and they are offering some services. If you're looking for service providers for the business and transformation vouchers, or SMEs if you are looking for collaborative projects. And also a very useful section is the frequent asked questions, in which we have answered here all the most asked questions that are from the consortium building, partner finding, and you will find here several interesting categories which may be useful for you for the application. So I encourage you to register to the platform, try to find collaborators. It's not compulsory for applying to the vouchers. Here you can find all the documents needed to apply for each type of voucher, and also the general overview and the grant agreement that you will have to sign later. And I also, just to finish, if you're applying for the first type of voucher, the innovation voucher, which is of the maximum of 60K, you should be required to develop an intermediate and a final report for the progress of the KPIs. Nothing that will take you a big effort. And if you're applying for the second type of voucher, the business transformation voucher, you will just have to develop a small report at the end of the project explaining the KPIs and the final results of the project. So I think that's all for me. I was so straightforward, just explaining the open call. So if there are any questions, you're welcome.
We are checking the chat, and for the moment, we don't have any questions regarding this call. Attendees, remember you can submit your questions through the chat and we will answer them. So, if there isn't any more questions here, please just remember, for more information you can address to Alba or by my open call contact phone directly. Thank you, Alba. I will now give the floor to Vladimir Gumilar, Director of Construction Cluster of Slovenia, and who will be presenting the AIC Eurocluster Open Call. Vladimir, the floor is yours. We cannot listen to you.
Unmute, okay.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Do you see my screen? Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much, Hatio, to inviting me to this event. My name is Vladimir Gumilar. I'm coordinator of AIC Eurocluster, one of the 30 Euroclusters. One was just presented. So very a lot of similarities with this Eurocluster. I'm director of the construction cluster of Slovenia. Since 2004, we are supporting our members and the industry in development, also collaborating with Spanish and other clusters in different cluster partnerships. So Spanish partners are actually our best partners in European projects. So I'm inviting you to get in touch and prepare new proposals, of course. So now today, the wrong date. I will present our project, which is coordinated by us. This is Eurocluster AEC, Architecture, Engineering and Construction Eurocluster. And the open call. This is one of 4 out of 30 Eurocluster which are addressing the built environment, let's say it like this. So the organizations which are providing product services in this for built environment in these sectors related to construction, buildings, infrastructure, have quite some opportunities to apply for financial support. So also for our AIC Eurocluster, which is open to the whole partners in different countries of Europe and the single market program. As all Euroclusters, we are, let's say, focusing on the same support objectives or specific objectives, networking, adapting technology, innovating, training, going international. So we have just used these objectives and transported to our our cluster, our Euro cluster. And here you see the partners. I will talk more later on. Okay, we are the coordinators. There is a cluster from Austria, BISAP, from Italy, DIT, from Spain, SEPCO, probably you know them. Technology-enabled construction cluster from Romania, and the Black Sea Energy cluster from Bulgaria. This is the consortium. So at the end of the presentation, there will be emails of the partners you can contact if you need more information. So why should apply for it? How, which type of funding you can get? How this proposal will be assessed? And how everything will go on in the next months. This is the content of my presentation today. The objectives were already presented of Eurocluster and also the previous Horizon call. It's green and digital transition supporting SME to go on with the business, regardless the troubles they face with as a consequence of COVID and now Ukraine crisis, and probably there are other things which are problematic and coming, especially regard the climate changes. So nothing new. So who can apply? Actually, all the organizations which are organization companies in this domain, architecture, construction, engineering, but also other organizations which support with services, product for these sectors. And this can be materials, bio-based materials, technologies like 3D printing, robotics, or something related with worker safety, connected construction side. It means IT solutions, BIM, and in general, all IT related solutions which have some benefits for our sector. So it's quite open and actually also simple to apply for. There are few requirements. First of them is that should not be very startup. 6 months of work. This is strictly followed. So not younger than this. So should be established in previous year, at least, and should be SME. And what is important here, cannot be part of large multinational organization, because we had some kind of application or questions. Yeah, we are a small company, but then we figure out that they are part of Japan multinational company. So this doesn't go in the criteria of SME. So the data of larger group of companies which are connected have to be taken into account when checking the SME status. But everything is there. There is a link to status of SME, so companies should do that easily. The next, as in previous call and in all Eurocluster, maximum sailing of funding is 60K per SME. And they can apply for different schemes of the call, open call, AEC Eurocluster open calls. And this is one application per partner. There is no need to have a consortium. They can organize themselves to be one applicant and the other is subcontractor. So two partners can apply, but one is the main applicant. And only one submission per financial support scheme and company possible. So especially adoption and innovation of technologies, only one you can apply for. But you can combine this with training and go international. You will see later on this. So the sailings of financial support is provided here for project innovation technology adoption is 60K per SME per project, and for training 5K, and for going international travel voucher is 2,000 euros. This is lump sum, and we are expecting the the applicants will follow that rule and not prepare large-scale proposals and ask for 60K, because this is really hard for us to evaluate. So some kind of redoing the large-scale application for Horizon Europe and applying for Eurocluster core, I think it's not a good option, and probably there will be not a huge chance to win that kind of application. My colleague from previous Eurocluster, she didn't mention that it's all about lump sum. So there is no financial reporting as we are used to in COSME or Horizon or other European program. It's more on achieving the results which are described in the application. And this is the figure you will receive, and there is 40% of the prepayment. So where you can apply, there are two major project fields: project innovation, and as you can see, this is to receive funding to develop a novel product, service, and technology until market readiness. And this says more or less that we are not looking for research and development project, but something of higher TRLs, so more closer to the market. We are not defining any requirements for TRL to be achieved, but according to this, we are expecting something to be close to the market. The next field is technology adoption. This means the company adopts some novel technology, can be also in any other sector, which improves their green and digital, let's say, profile, and have impacts in this regard. And any technology can be used, like 3D printing, anything which can improve their business as such. In the construction field, the first project innovation will be a project of 12 months, but the technology adoption only on 6. The second two groups is training. We have prepared some fields of training: Canvas, design thinking, Lego Serious Play, but applicants can apply for other type of innovation training with external experts which can provide this training, but they must prove that they are good at this service for a couple of years, and they have good references in this field. And the fourth call is Go International. And this is specific call, 3-person max per SME can go and attend the events, which are more or less trade fairs in Mexico, Saudi Arabia, Singapore, and Kenya. These 4 countries are defined, and also the trade fairs, which will be presented later on. And companies have to make 10 B2B meetings on that event. The implementation, the call deadlines refers to the trade fairs which will be presented later on. Evaluation, the proposals, the applications will be evaluated by us, by project partners, with 2 evaluators per application, and not with evaluator from the country where the application is coming from. And then the score will be defined as average of both scores. And there will be, if there will be a large number of applications with the same score, there will be other criteria to be checked to decide on the winning proposals, and mainly focusing on impact. This is the most important part of the application. Okay, this is how it goes. You should check the status of the SME. You have to be established in member states or single market program countries. This is large number of countries in Europe and beyond. you should be at least 6 months old company, and your work should be in the pre-described industrial fields related to built environment. The evaluation is like this. There will be 3 points per criteria, at least to be achieved, like threshold, and the highest scores will win the proposal. Here are the criteria for innovation project. As you can see, there is impact double weighted, so impact is important. All these details are also in guide for applicants, so you don't need to write down on whatever. You will be able to get this document on our website. The same technology adoption, same criteria, similar criteria. Again, impact is double weighted. And at the beginning there was video requested as a criteria, but now it's optional. But we would like to have a video from you, that we know you as applicant and your ambitions more in like a face-to-face way. Training evaluation criteria is also important. It's different. You have to show that this training will have impact on your business, on your development as a company, especially in the direction of digital and green transition. And you can, as said at the beginning, suggest the trainer and go international. Again, this going international voucher will be not voucher, financial support to third party. This is official name. Will help you to go to this market and should be in line with your internationalization strategy. The deadlines, the cut-off dates on 30th of April, it was the call opened at that time. In a week, a little bit more, it's finished, it's open. There is only one call for this Eurocluster. In some other, there are two. All the money, all available budget is allocated to this call. So if you want, you have to. If you want to apply, you have to do a lot of work in these 10 days. And at the end of August, you will be informed if you are selected. And the project should start somewhere in October, beginning of October. So this is the timeline. And as I said, Go International refers to the trade fairs, which are stated here: CIHAC October in Mexico, the Big Six in Saudi Arabia, Digital Construction Asia in Singapore, and Build Expo Africa in Kenya, June 24. So these are the deadlines here. Again, you can see this in the guide for applicants. We know that companies cannot decide on going to trade fair in Africa in 2024 right now. So that's why we prepare different deadlines for Go International call. Application document. This is Word document. There is no limit on the pages, but we ask all the applicants to be short, compact in terms of application. And we need also information from the register of company to see that you are a company. And there are two specific letters of intent. One is from potential client, and the second is from the company which will provide the technology to you. And this video is optional, but we would really like to get them. Everything is available on the specific part of our website. The link is here. Again, it can be reached also in funding and tender portal. If you browse for Euroclusters, you will find all the Eurocluster schools there. Can be found on the ECCCB portal, and as I said, in this webpage. Video, we would like to hear you what you are aiming to, you are, how you will spend the financial contributions, and see how you believe in impacts you you will, let's say, foresee in the application. And this is it. As I said, the application will be sent by email. Very simple. This is the email address until 5 p.m. Brussels time on 30th of June. So a little bit more than 1 week to deadline. Okay, these are also the partners. You can see from Spain, Gavel Balchak can be contacted from Sessió cluster, but the other partners are from other countries, and you can contact them directly if you need more detailed information on the call. Application is simple. I will not go in depth in this. You see, it's a Word document. You fill a couple of content. You prepare the budget, because we would like to see that you are planning the project, not just saying, okay, we want 60K, but there is project plan behind and the budget plan behind. So you provide this, even you will not be obliged to report the costs at the end. And this is the template even for letter of intent of the potential client. And everything is available on the website. And if you have any question, please feel free to ask.
Thank you, Vladimir. For the moment, we don't have any questions regarding this call. Attendees, remember you can submit your questions to the chat, and we would be pleased if you can indicate to which open call are you referring to with your questions, so we can provide you with a correct answer. So let me check again, but we don't have any more questions there. Up until here, the open floor for questions. Please, for more information, you can contact, as he said, to Vladimir or to the open call contact point directly. Thank you, Vladimir. We are not having any questions for the moment, and we are going faster than thought, and that was scheduled in the agenda. So now let's move to the next open call. I will now give the floor to Paulina Jankowska, project leader at Funding Box, and who will be presenting Target X Open Call. Paulina, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Nuria. Hello, good afternoon. My name is Paulina Jankowska, and I am representing Funding Box. Today, I want to present you the Target X first open call. Let me share my screen. I hope everything is right. As I said, I represent Funding Box. We are funding champions. We are participate in EU-funded project within Cascade Funding. Now we're running like 7 open calls in different areas. So please check our website if you are interested in any of other calls. About Target X, our project is co-founded by the European Commission from the Horizon Europe program. The coordinator of the project is Fraunhofer, but we have 14 organizations in our consortium, and we are representing 6 countries all over the Europe. Target X vision is to accelerate the Target X vision is to accelerate the digital transformation within 4 key verticals: the manufacturing, energy, automotive, and construction. We want to use large-scale trials in multiplied testbeds. In our first open call, we are looking for the SME. You can apply as an individual entity or a micro consortium composed by 2 SMEs. Please remember that your organization must be established in your national register before 9th of May 2023, because your organization must be established before we launch the open call. And the most important thing, what support to be offered? Of course, we offer you funding support up to 60,000 euros and the most important thing is that if you are a for-profit company, your grant is about 70%. But that means that in your application form, you have to provide us a budget over 60K. We want to support you by 60K euros, but you have to provide us with the application form at least 78,000 euros in your budget. We want to offer you the support program, which will be last 7 months from the January 2024 to July 2024. Now I wanted to present you the eligibility criteria when you want, which one are obliged to use. So the project must be proposed by SME or the consortium of the two SME. One entity must act like the technology provider, and one entity must be acting like end user, or both entities acting like the end users. Of course, as I said, you have your companies have to be registered before we launch open call. Your company must be established in any of the European Union member states or overseas countries and territories, and associate countries to Horizon Europe. Please remember, for now, United Kingdom is ineligible for the funding. On our microsite, you can find a guide for applicants, and in section 3.3, you can find all the eligibility criteria listed. Of course, your application must be submitted on our platform. Later in my presentation, I will present our dedicated platform for this open call, and you have to submit the application before the deadline, which is 26th of July 2023. Your application must be filled out in English language only. All the section must be filled out in English language. Every question deserves your attention. In the next slide, I will present all questions and which are mandatory to save. Your project has to have the European dimension. You have to be precise in your application. We allow to multiply submission. You can apply in 2, 3, 4 projects, but only one will be founded. Only one SME can be founded once in first open call. Your organization have to be not involved and connected with the target X partners, so that has to be the absence of the conflict of interest. You have to have rights to your proposal. Your organization have to have healthy finances and the clean sheets. You have to accept our open call rules and respect our limit for the FSTP, which is 60K per organization. Support program is divided in 3 stages. And after each stage, we will pay you the payment in installments. All beneficiaries will receive fixed lump sum. That means that we are not required to present accounting documents from you, but please remember you are still obliged to collect those documents. Target X Consortium prepared 48 topics for you, which you can apply. That means in your application, you have addressed one of this topic strictly. In the next slide, I will show you the example of the topic. Of course, we have title, summary of the topic, scope, objectives, which one we want to see after your support program ends, and description of the ideal candidate. All 48 topics were prepared by all the verticals we have, like manufacturing, energy, automotive, and construction. And additionally, we create the topics within the methodological assessment framework and technology evaluation beyond 5G. Now I wanted to present you our dedicated platform for this specific open call. If you want to apply in our first open call, you have to create an account in our Funding Box platform. You can see this in the right corner. When you create the account, you of course can create the application. But before that, please go to the Documents subtab, when you can find Guide for Applicants. That's the document which have all important information about the open call, the eligibility criteria, requirements, support program, information about the payments, and in this document it's more crucial for you. We prepared also frequently asked question document where you can find the question and answer for the question we have. Annex 1 present of the all of the 48 topics we prepared for you, and this document is also very important for you because you need to know, you need to choose on what topic you will apply. As I mentioned before, as a beneficiary, you can receive up to 60,000 euros. And the deadline is 26th of July, 5 p.m. Brussels time. Please don't wait by the last moment because the system can be overloaded. So we recommend to submit the application at least 2-3 days before the deadline. I wanted to go back to the application form. When you go to our dedicated microsite, targetx.fundingbox.com, you have this Apply Now button. Apply Now button will take you to the application. You have to start a new application and the 10th section will appear. At the beginning, I wanted to say that, of course, you can add the contributor because as that can be the person from your organization, that can be person from your partner if you apply as a consortium. So don't hesitate to add the contributor, but please remember the contributor have to create their own Funding Box account. Here we have 10 section title. If you go with fill button, this will take you to this application. Each section have section title and the explanation. Please remember to read the explanation because there we give you information what we are looking for, what you have to fill out in this particular section, and we support you with some tips and information. We also have questions that are mandatory to save. When you see the question with this red star, please remember to fill out this question because without this question you cannot submit your application. So every question needs your attention. When you fill out the section, you can go back to the list of the section. In the application form, we ask you about the basic information about the project. We ask you about the legal information about your SME. We ask you about the project, about excellence, and then we will ask you about the ambition, innovation, and sound of approach of your project. In impact section, we ask about market opportunity, competition, commercial strategy and scalability, and environmental and social impact. And in implementation, section, we will ask about team and resources. Please remember that the excellence, impact, and implementation will be evaluated by the external evaluators during the evaluation process. This three section is most important for us because based on this free section, we will award you with the points and create the list of the finalists. Next section is statistical section. It's not mandatory to save. We of course encourage you to save this section, but that statistical section is information which we will provide to European Commission. So we will be happy if you can have a few minutes to fill out this section. In our evaluation process, we are looking also for the ethics. So we ask you to fill out your self-assessment within the ethics issue. Then we have declaration of honor and processing of the personal data, and that's the typical GDPR clause and nothing else. During the open call, we are happy to help you and answer all your questions regarding Target X product, about open call and our other activities. For that, we create a dedicated help desk for you where you can ask the question in public. When you have this funding box profile, you also can join our Spaces funding box, where you can ask the question regarding the open call, topics, and everything regarding the open call. But also we created the help desk email, and we will daily reply all your doubts, comments, and questions. And we're happy to help you with that, to fill out the application form. Also, you can find more information about our project in our Target X project website, because in our project we don't have only open calls, we have other activities you can take part. So we encourage you to go to the subtab about the project Target X overall. You can also find information about our activities in our social media. Now I wanted to end my presentation with the evaluation process, because after you submit the application, we have to check your eligibility criteria. If you address all the criteria I mentioned before, then all eligible proposal will go to in-out scope screening in Target X, done by Target X partners. That means that this stage will answer the question if your proposal fits in Target X, because your proposal can be excellent, well written, but if it's not address one of the topic, we cannot fund you. So please be stick to the topics we proposed, because that's all the matters that projects have to be well written, but within our topics. Then we will create in scope list of the project, and those projects will go to the external evaluation. That means that the impact, excellence, and implementation section will be evaluated by external, independent from the Target X project evaluators. That will be the experts in each field, and they will score your project from 1 to 5 points. After external evaluation, the selection committee of our project will create the list of the FST recipient. And I wanted to tell that on every stage of the evaluation process, we'll communicate to you the results of the stage, if you go to the next stage or you are rejected. After you pass the evaluation process, you have to also pass the formal check. We have to check if your SME status is eligible to participate in Target X project. In this stage, we will ask you about the documents. You have to provide the documents to provide all information that your organization is SME in the legal term of the European Union law. After you pass the formal check, we will sign the sub-grant agreement with you that will be by the end of the year, and the support program will start in January 2024. And we want to complete the support program by July 2024, so the support program will last 7 months. I think that's all from my presentation, and thank you for your time, and if you have any question, I'm happy to help.
Thank you, Paulina.
Thank you.
If there are more questions, well, if you have more questions, you can ask to Paulina. So thank you. And now we will be presenting the end of the session. If there are any questions, we will stop here today's session. We would like to thank you, our colleagues from these 4 different open calls: AI RIS, Architecture, Engineering, Construction, Euroclusters, and Bioman, and Project Architects. Thank you all for your cooperation and for your willingness to share your open calls with the Catalan companies. We are convinced that this information will be really useful for all these companies and entities attending today in order to boost their innovation and internationalization projects. We will share with all of you attendees the record of the presentations and contacts of today's session, so you can reach out to them. In case you are interested in applying to their open calls, you can contact them. Here also you will find Accio Industry 4.0 team contact point, so you can contact us directly in case you're interested in boosting these digital transitions or other projects that we can help you and support you. So thank you to all the companies and entities attending for today's session. Thank you very much. We keep in contact.